I remember Michelle Obama saying if Trump won, women would suffer.
If we don't get this election right, your wife, your daughter, your mother, we as women will become collateral damage to your rage.
Trump's pretty much already president, so let's check in on Michelle.
Attention, everybody. We are full of joy and here today. So honored to have you, Michelle Obama, at a happy place. Michelle Obama's walking, we can't let her go. She's a classy lady, we just love her so. We got Michelle Obama.
Michelle Obama looks proud of her country again, which is weird because Biden's about to turn the White House over to Hitler. Everybody should be scared, right? At the Obama house, it's Christmas as usual. The only thing keeping Michelle up at night is what to stuff in Barack's stocking.
Who's the hardest to shop for?
He is. Oh, my gosh. Yeah. I mean, he's just a boy, you know? I mean, he just doesn't do much. He golfs, and there's only so many golf balls you can get a dude.
Right.
I'm trying to, like, get him clothes that he wouldn't buy, you know?
Okay.
Because he's also cheap.
Well, who is the best gift giver out of you guys?
Probably me.
Okay.
You know, I think I am because I'm actually paying attention to everyone.
Ah,
you know?
that is the
I'm,
trick.
like, listening.
Michelle just said her husband's cheap, doesn't listen, and chases balls all day like a little boy. We'd show you the part where Jennifer Hudson asked Michelle about what it's going to be like living under a dictator and how women will survive the next 4 years, but she never asked. Michelle put down some ground rules for the interview. After the biggest election in the history of the country, her words, not mine, Michelle said, "Don't ask me about politics." Michelle's only allowed to be asked about her new book, her new Netflix show, and her new fruit juice brand. Not very maha. Michelle's got to push product. It's the new golden age, remember? It's almost like she's saying life goes on. The whole democracy is on the line was just a line. Kamala Harris, same thing. She lost to a tyrant, and she's still laughing.
Good morning. Oh. Remember the context in which you exist. Yeah, I did that. In the face of an obstacle, do we throw up our hands or do we roll up our sleeves? And as we approach...
She doesn't seem very worried that Trump's not in prison and he's about to take over the military. Kamala just robbed donors to pay Oprah and Sharpton, then flew to Hawaii for a week with Doug. I guess that's normal. Bill Maher is also not losing any sleep over Trump.
Of course, the worst things could happen. Trump could get into office and blow up the world on day one. But, you know, I'm not going through the same spilkus I did last time. Like,
really?
Yeah. Like, when it happens, wake me, but I'm not giving my mind over to it again. And I'll see what happens. And one thing I've learned about the future is that we're very bad about predicting it. And whatever you think is probably likely to happen probably isn't going to happen.
Wait a second. The media said Trump was going to order SEAL Team 6 to assassinate journalists. And now the media is like, I'm going to sleep. Wake me up when they're outside the door. The journalists who thought they'd be dead in January were calling Trump for an interview.
The day after Donald Trump had that crazy rally at Madison Square Garden.
Oh, wow, yeah.
I rolled the dice, and I called him on the phone.
Yeah.
And he answered! I called him and said, I want an interview with you. Obviously, he said no. But my point is, I was able to get to him by dialing his phone. Right. Now, that might be completely and you're like, I can't believe people know this guy's phone number.
And remember when all these economists said Trump was going to light up inflation and send us into a recession? Well, this just in from the Wall Street Journal. CEOs on Wall Street say they're more optimistic than they've been in years. What's going on? Well, the media keeps writing these stories about the resistance. What resistance? I haven't seen it. Where? Democrat donors are dining at Mar-a-Lago. Fetterman's meeting with Hegseth. We haven't seen a single protest anywhere. The only thing they're resisting is Doge, because they want to keep working from home. The legacy media's audience is disappearing. MSNBC and CNN are getting spun off like dead weight by their parent companies. So these hosts are starting to tell the truth, because lying just got bad for business. George Stephanopoulos just cost ABC $15 million because he defamed Trump. And the Post reports he's humiliated. First, Disney lost to DeSantis, and now they're funding Trump's presidential library. And Stephanopoulos is apoplectic. Chuck Todd's having nightmares about it, and he doesn't even work in the media anymore, I think.
This was stunning to me, and absolutely a gut punch to anybody that works at a major media company, because I think it sets a precedent that is going to be very difficult. It's going to be very difficult to get out from under, potentially. I just, I think the risk of losing this suit was 5%.
Right.
Like 50%.
For ABC. ABC.
For ABC.
Yeah.
So, this was a decision to buy off a bad PR.
Well, today, Trump sued that Iowa pollster, Selzer, who accused brazen election interference and consumer fraud for releasing a suppression poll on the eve of the election that had him down 3 to Kamala when he won by 13. Everybody in the discredited press is now trying to save their careers. They're all running the podcast saying, I knew we were going to lose.
If Democrats are the party about caring more and doing more and caring about everybody, they also need to have some hard conversations that when you care more and you treat people better, it might make the world cost more. And they're afraid to say that. And you have to just start saying those, right? Like, the world's gonna cost more. Guess what? When you guys leave here and you go to a bar, you're gonna spend at least 10 minutes at that bar bitching to one another about how much the drinks cost. And so when we wonder, and I'm not saying you shouldn't bitch about it, but we should just get real about how things are.
Well, we just watched Stephanie's interview with Kamala right before the election. She folded. She didn't press her on high prices. She didn't say any of this. And if Kamala won, Stephanie wouldn't be saying this now either. She's trying to act independent so she lands on her feet when her network gets sold. The ladies of The View are doing the walk of shame. Watch.
The Democratic Party has always been the party of the working class, has always been. If you look at all the policies, they're for the people. And I think even myself, as someone who grew up in abject poverty, I think I missed the boat in terms of realizing that there are so many Americans that still have that experience that I grew up with.
Sunny Hostin says she grew up in abject poverty and she fought all the way up to The View, where she gets paid millions of dollars to sit around and talk. Kind of like me. And for the last 4 years, she didn't notice the working class was struggling. She didn't see the prices going up. She didn't see the migrants coming in, the crime. I don't believe that. It was all over. She saw it, and she was comfortable where she was. She didn't care about the people she left behind. And she hated Trump so much and wanted to get along with Whoopi and Joy so badly, she forgot where she came from. And that's great that she's now come around, but I don't know if I believe her. I don't know if she's just saying that to save her skin when the executives shake up The View. Bill Clinton says Democrats have been on cruise control and just forgot about the people they work for. Listen.
Well, I think we got used to winning elections and we forgot that every one of them had to be hard fought and that it wasn't just some sort of automatic thing. Once disabling behavior is no longer such a problem because people are more worried about the world they knew crumbling around them without some certainty of where they're going to be in the new world.
The Democrats thought they could buy this election, call Trump names, and their base would turn out. But they hurt their people. They took them for granted. and never saw the landslide coming because they didn't listen to anything if they didn't like what they were hearing.
With either side. But what I don't like about the Democratic Party at this particular moment in time, you keep walking around on your moral high horse, acting like you're above reproach. But I'm sick of all of this. I really am. Democrats, you lost. You got your butts whipped. Own it, live with it, accept it, embrace it, and look in the damn mirror. And stop acting like the problem lies with others. It lies with you. Your messengers were weak. Your message was weaker. And I know that because the American people said so in droves. Own it. And get off your moral high horse.
It wasn't just the message. It was the action. We still haven't heard from Democrats. Maybe we shouldn't have opened the border. Maybe we shouldn't have spent $28 trillion in 4 years. Maybe we shouldn't have put criminals, cross-dressers, and vagrants on a pedestal. Unless you hear that from Democrats, they haven't owned what they did. Actions speak louder than words. And dancing like Michelle and cackling like Kamala after scaring the hell out of us about how big of a threat Trump was kind of gives away the game.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.